Our first adventure is called The Lost City, which went under the codename of Module B4. It was a basic game adventure for low-level characters set in a desert ruin. When the party stumbles upon this sort of half-buried ziggurat and find a way inside, they quickly discover that there's kind of the remnants of a fallen society still lingering in its depths.
They are these masked factions devoted to these ancient gods, Gorm, Madarua, and Usamigaras. And each of these gods has a certain personality that influences its members. There are many, many members of this lost city of Synodecia, and all of the Synodecians wear these masks. So you might be wandering as a character, and you come across somebody who's wearing the mask of a bee. And when you see them, there are certain Synodecians that simply wear their mask as identity. There are others that get lost in the performance of their mask. So you might be walking down the hallway and a man scurries up on all fours wearing the mask of a werewolf and pads up to you and says, "Oh!" and scratches his ear and is afraid of silver, perhaps. You might find another that is wearing a cat mask. There are lots of cursed things that can happen in this adventure. But more likely, the characters are going to interact with 4 big factions in this adventure. The 3 devoted to those old gods, and 1 which is a cult to Zargon. Now, Zargon is a really cool and terrifying elder evil who you will find in this book. Originally, he was in the very last room of the Lost City in the original module, but you will also find his stat block in our appendix for this book. And what makes Zargon interesting, in addition to his single jagged black horn, his cyclopic eye, and his many, many tentacles, is that there are rumors that Zargon is unkillable, indestructible. And the characters will have to find out whether or not those rumors are true, and maybe whether or not they have to get rid of this evil presence in order to truly cleanse this civilization and let it basically restore its former glory.
I remember running The Lost City many times growing up. What I loved about that adventure is just how easy it is to get into. There's like nothing you need to. The characters are just in the desert, and they see a ruin. The adventure's begun. You know, it's as simple as that. But I love the Synodecians, the people who live under the ziggurat. This was the first time I can remember in a D&D adventure where it felt like that there was a real attempt to create an entire civilization and bring it to life. And the Synodecians are weird because they all wear masks.
Yeah.
I really sank my teeth into that as a DM because there's something about, what's under the mask.
Yeah.
There's a built-in mystery there. And the other thing I love about that adventure is there are telltale signs all through the dungeon of the history of Synodecia. It's like, oh, the last king and queen of Synodecia are buried down here somewhere, and we're going to find them. It's like, oh, no! Queen Zenobis, no, please, don't hurt me. I love that the mystery of the downfall is sort of this society is revealed in the dungeon dressings, in the wall murals, in the tombs that you find. The other great thing about the Synodecians is that they're not just evil threats that you encounter. You meet them. You talk to them, you negotiate with them, you realize that they become polarized into like factions, and these factions are sort of vying for, being at the top of the pyramid, as it were. And that kind of interplay was very unusual in adventures of the day.